How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Papa Powell going on the microphone. Papa Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. Started. Why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Mic check. Okay, we're good. Checking the mic because it's in a new spot now and there's chances that it doesn't work. So if it does cut out, let me know. I will have to figure out, and also let me know if it's a little too loud, little too low, because the mic now is right in front of me. So I might have to adjust the volume levels. The stand that I used to have, I don't have any desk space for it anymore. I have a new monitor that had to be moved from one of the other rooms in the house, and the only open room I guess was my desk over here. So I have another monitor here. Currently I can't plug it to my computer, but I will be plugging to my computer very soon. But because of that monitor, I don't have my room for my a mic stand. So now the mic stand's over here. So you guys will have to inform me about the levels, about noise cutting out, or if noise sounds cracky, so I have to crackling, so I have to restart the driver. So just let me know if anything goes bad. Now that I've prefaced all of that, how you guys been? You know, I wasn't able to stream yesterday. Let me just quickly do this too. Wasn't able to stream yesterday. I was a little busy. I had to, you know, go downtown. I actually lost my wallet on the public transit. Somebody found it. I guess they found my old YMCA card in there, so they reported it to the YMCA. Surprised they didn't steal the cash inside of it. So you know, everything was inside of it exactly the way I lost it, and thankfully I retrieved it yesterday. So I had to spend some time, travel all the way to downtown, pick up my wallet, come all the way home. By the time I got home, it was 8:30 or 8:40ish or so. So I didn't even have time to, you know, eat food properly and do my own review stuff yesterday. It was hectic, but we are back to regular schedule from today. So welcome back. Hopefully you guys had a great day yesterday. Another good day today. Markets are moving, volatility across the board, sellers just non-stop selling at the moment on the market. Every pop just gets stuffed. Later on though, finally we did get a bounce on the market today going into the close, but I can't remember if that got sold off into the close or if we kept going higher into the close, into the last 1 hour. But I do remember that the market did reverse at one point, eventually bottoming out and going back up north, set up for some great longs, some good reversals, some good breakouts, great scalps across the board. So for me, I had a good long day today, a good green day today, and you know, had to fight a little bit, I'll be honest. We'll talk about my trades, and we'll also prepare for some of my stocks that I'll be looking for tomorrow. So if you have any names that you want me to take a look at, throw it in the chat, we'll take a look at that. But yeah, good day for me, decent day, not something to you know, be overly excited about, but good day because I'm happy with my bobblehead moving up. As Lance talks about your bobblehead, you focusing on just getting better. That is, you know, changing in a monumental pace, especially like this environment. I feel like it's something I'm used to. This is the environment I started trading in. This is the how the tape is moving, the volatility, everything just feels so familiar, and this is the time where this is the time where, you know, I start taking advantage of my familiarity, start taking advantage of all the newfound knowledge and experience, and put it to work. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job by doing that. So I can't wait to actually start bringing some homers over here, some home runs for anyone who doesn't know what homers are. Some home runs coming in soon. But for now, I'm focusing on base hits, and base hits is what you will be seeing today. So let's start off with how my day started. So went a little crazy because the tape on DAL was absolutely tricking me. So DAL popped into the open around this 49.50 area, which was yesterday's VWAP, rejecting around 49.50, sells off, pops, and has a little bit of a reject over there. So I tiny size get in, and then I punch out of that, then I get back in, then I punch out of that. And this is because every time the stock actually pops up, it immediately gets stuffed back down. So the tape in this area, it's just tricking me, fooling me, trapping me. You know, every pop gets stuffed back down, but every drop gets bought right back up. So it was just an absolute trickery over here where I lost a little bit of money. Eventually I said, fuck this, what am I doing? Let me just draw a trend line and just wait for the trend line to break. Let me wait for the stock to get below VWAP, and then I'll short it. But I could have, you know, fought this area a little bit more, and I would have had a way better price. But would I have been able to catch the whole move? That's a whole different question. Later on, getting short in this area, taking some profits out, taking basically that size out, and then adding back over here on the lower day to the downside, and then getting a big move over here on the lower day break. But yeah, I mean, this one was a sad trade for me, because this is a stock where I was short at what, $48. It goes to 47, 45, 50. So you know, it gives me a big move, and overall I'm actually red on the name. So it's a pretty sad trade, because later on I tried this one over here. I take the breakdown of this range, and I try the lower day breakdown. That doesn't work out. That stops me out, and the stock immediately pops back up, basically bottoms out for the day by trapping people on that lower day break. So yeah, that wasn't really a good trade to start off the day with, and then I made the money back, and then I lost it again on DAL. The next one that kind of ruined my day today, but honestly I'm okay with it. I really like this trade, if I'm to be honest. It was the high day breakout. It was the opening range breakout. So MSTR, I know it says MSTX, but this is basically MSTR. MSTR consolidates, has a little bit of an opening range breakdown, but that opening range breakdown clearly fails as the stock pops back up, not once but twice. It breaks once over here, breaks another time over here, but then immediately pops back up. So I'm thinking, you know what, this is looking like a flip actually up to the north side. Coinbase is looking long, IBIT is looking long, Bitcoin, which is the actual dictator of the moves for these stocks, is also looking long. So you know, in that case, let me try a good opening range breakout long over here. Didn't work out. I said wah wah, move on. You know, kind of take a break, go for a walk if I need to. I didn't go for a walk until much later in the day, but yeah, take a break, go for a walk if you need to, and then look for better positions to kind of situate myself into. Palantir, this is a little bit later in the day, but this was the $80 breakout, but that little range high was like 79.80, 79.90, so I took the 71.990 break instead of waiting for the 80 break, and then obviously that one hurt. I did give it the risk that it deserved, so that risk got triggered. Eventually you saw how the stock just flipped back to the downside. So you know, had 80 broken, I would have added way harder on this trade. This was like a starter position, and I lost that starter position, so I'm okay with it. I could have cut it much easier, or much earlier is what I'm trying to say. Somewhere on this little 1 minute candle range low, you can see how there's a buyer here on each little candle wicks, and then the stock kind of cracks that buyer, potentially the same buyer who's been buying it on these dips over here, but the seller off the open, the seller in this area, very adamant on selling shares around $80, and they were aggressive enough to the point where they cracked the buyer. That could have been enough for me to kind of risk on that position, honestly, but I didn't really have size, so I was okay with giving it more room. This might be a bad habit to get into. Imagine where you're actually starting to risk more and more on the day, to the point where your C might not be $100 anymore. Your C level risk might be $1,000. So instead of losing a full 1,000, you might just be able to lose a quick 100 and be able to walk away from the trade. So just a quick idea over there as to possible trade management, building the right habits, and so on. Something that I need to work towards actively. Tesla opening range breakout long, start long, didn't take any profits, as I was like 30-40 cents in the money over here. Tesla also starts topping out after going like $3, $4, $5 in the money. Maybe next time just do that on Tesla, Prad, so you can just make some actual money instead of being greedy over here on this one. I know I've said that a bunch of times about TSLL. These stocks barely move. It's so annoying. Later on, cutting it for break even, that one baits me into going back in, and then I lose on that position over there. So overall loss on this trade. High day breakout long, the temps I should say, on TSLL. Here's where you guess I guess you will start seeing some profitable quick scalps on the day from me. So Baba, someone on Discord called out, this is Lance's magnum opus Discord. So someone in that Discord called out that Baba is actually having a really solid range. If you look at this high over here, and if you see how these highs over here and these little 1 minute consolidation highs all line up at a very similar price of 139, and I think actually exactly 139. So that ends up being a good breakout area. Stock drops down and then sets up for a breakout. I quickly punch out of that trade because I noticed that it kind of did this drop, so I wanted a little bit more energy being built up, and it actually does exactly that. A little bit more energy starts to being built, and then that gives you a good little breakout. But sadly, you know, this is almost going into 4 o'clock. So I'm always flat going into 4 o'clock. I don't hold positions overnight. I can't hold positions overnight with my prop software. So not able to, wanting to manage a position going into 4. I'd much rather pack my backpack than manage a position with barely any size left. So I take some profits for 50 cents, but then the last 2 or 3 lots that I had, I just closed that for a 50-cent profit instead of waiting for a pop into 140 where the stock actually goes. So there was another 50 cents per share where I could have made, you know, a good chunk of more money on this trade. But not gonna complain. Quick little easy scalp for me to to make profits on. Apple, low a day. You could kind of call this a bouncy ball in a way. Yeah, you know, this is the gravity, and you got the bouncy ball where the stock is just constantly bouncing each time. Yeah, it's not really same low. It's got a lower low, but it's got a similar pattern or feel as a bouncy ball with lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower lows. It's below VWAP, so you're basically joining the trend with a momentum based setup by going short on the low a day breakout. All of that makes sense, and it says Apple was up 48% on the day. Yeah, that's bullshit. But if you take a look at the daily chart on Apple, this is what I think what makes the stock kind of lower grade is 219 is a daily level support, right? There's multiple levels in the daily chart. We'll talk about this a little bit later when I'm looking at the watch list. 219 is like a good support area, so you're basically shorting into support. Yeah, you could get a move for $1 into support, but the stock could easily bounce before that and just trap you. This could be a failed breakdown and then just pop right back up. Luckily, you did get a good move to short off of. You could have also short this little breakdown. Look at that nice little tight consolidation on the 1 minute chart, and then a breakdown with it, and then the stock kind of bottoms out with the rest of the market. Another push attempt to the lows over here, but that finds support, and then that pushes it right back up north. So good short on the lower day break. Quick little scalp attempt on Apple. HSAI, I think this was an earnings name. It was an earnings name. I don't have to think. I know it was an earnings name. Nice little high day breakout, late day high day breakout. This was around 2 o'clock. Stocks pushes into the highs, breaks out, gives you a quick little pump up. I try another little breakout over here, but that really doesn't work out. Thankfully, I'm smart enough to not take ridiculous size on this attempt compared to this attempt, so I don't really lose any money over here. I lose very little, but yeah, good little scalp over here. High day break as the market is basically kind of bottomed out and also going higher all day. John Bond's in the house. What's up, John? How you doing? We also got TH saying tariffs against Canada increased today, killed any hope of a market rally. But sir, tomorrow, as my good friend, I shouldn't say friend, he doesn't even know I exist probably, but as my good friend Nate from IU calls it, the capitulation index is going to drop tomorrow. And the reason, I understand the reason why. There's a good chance where no matter how good or bad the CPI report comes out, it's an event possibly where the market is going to react to it negatively. It's going to be sell the news no matter what, right? So good news, sell it. Bad news, sell it. So they're gonna sell the news. They're gonna capitulate it. They're gonna shake off some more weak hands. They're gonna trap some. Shorts on that bottom, and they're gonna capitulate the crap out of that market on the 8:30 move. Maybe not even off 8:30. So 8:30 they're gonna drop it. 9:30 market's gonna open, drop even lower, capitulate, and that's gonna mark, boom, the bottom for this little recession move that we've been having recently. Buyers are gonna step right in off of that move over there. Big money is going to be deployed. So I understand the reasoning why Nate calls it the capitulation index, and I kind of have a similar theory. The last time you have this type of reaction on a CPI print was a very similar market event. It was a COVID market. The VIX was in like the 20s, 30s, 60s actually, if I'm remembering correctly, it was in the 60s or something. And CPI is when at that moment was coming out hot. CPI started coming out hotter and hotter and hotter, and with the high volatile environment that we had, shit was going crazy. Market was opening into a halt, market-wide halt for NASDAQ. So things were going absolutely wild, and that was my first introduction to day trading. So, oh boy, if we get things like that happening again, I can't wait for it. Imagine CPI bottoms out the market by taking it into a market-wide halt tomorrow. Market-wide halt. CPI comes out, we are already down 7% on the market. People are closing the memes like, close the market, close the market type of memes on the internet are going on Twitter. And then the market opens, drops another 3%. You have a market-wide halt, and then the bottom comes in. Market opens off of the halt, and we just shoot up north. If that happens, I am throwing my balls on the line. Like, I'm probably risking everything that I can that my bosses will let me on that long, and I'm just holding on to it until 4 o'clock. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I can't wait for how CPI sets up. I might even just sneak into my bed early today, get some good shut-eye, get some good sleep, and that's a lie. I'm not sleeping until 12 o'clock. But try to get some good sleep early and get into work early, get into work before 8:30 if I can, and then be able to react off the CPI if it does give you a reactionary move to trade, and then also get ready for some fun tomorrow, for some fireworks, because this is the environment where these type of economic data could really help us day traders take advantage of. Okay, so I'm very excited for tomorrow, if you can't tell already. LUV, let's talk about LUV. This stock popped up on news that they're going to now charge customers to take luggage on their airlines. It popped up to the north side, but clearly got sold off on that pop. I guess I missed the short somewhere in this area. I don't really care for it, but it was a little bit annoying to miss, but I said whatever. But here's the one I was very happy to actually catch. This was basically an opening range breakdown in a way. The 945 low breaks around 1030. Also happens to be a good bouncy ball setup, so you got a good opening range breakout low. Then I also got a good even dollar breakout at $30 to get short, and I get a nice move to the south side. Sadly, I hold this trade a little too long, and I basically closed my last few shares for break even. But for most of my size, I do cover down over here, which helps me put the stock pretty high up there in my day today. So here's my best trades on the day. Let's go to Oracle earnings report. Yeah, I think they reported earnings. They reported earnings, moved around quite a bit in the after hours yesterday, and then obviously off the open a little bit weak with the rest of the market. Sold off, popped back, but then unable to hold VWAP. So this little crack of this buyer in this area got short, risked the move back above these few candles and the close somewhere above VWAP to use as my stop. Thankfully, never had to worry about it. Instantly in the money, and then just keeps going down. Was looking to add if the stock really broke the opening range low somewhere over here by consolidating in this area, but it never really consolidated, and it also never really pushed to the low a day. Started to show support in this area, so I kind of took the 2-minute bar profit, and I said, screw this, I'm out. I don't really want to hold this short anymore. Here's the one I'm a little pissed about, and more pissed about is this one, because I was distracted. I think I was eating lunch. I was too busy making my Caesar salad and eating my Caesar salad and not catching the trade that I wanted. So this long was somewhat of a fashionably late scalp from S&B Capital. 9 EMA crossed VWAP. I waited for the dip to come into play instead of punching the breakout. I waited for the dip to see if the buyers are still here. Buyers were, so offer into the dip. Sadly, the market actually kind of has a little shakeout around this moment, so that shakes me out and that makes me punch out of the trade. I think 9 times out of 10 I make that decision if the market does that little scary shakeout where it looks like it's about to go back to the downside at that moment. But most of the time, maybe just your stop is over here, just play the stop, right? This could have been an easy 3R 4R win. That one was really annoying to not have, because you got a quick bottom, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Somewhat of a backside scalp, not really a backside scalp, but a little variation of it, and you got a good consolidation range break and the seller getting cracked and the market taking the stock back up to the north side, along with the rest of the stocks that they were going higher with them too. Google, nice little low a day breakdown, actually even a good opening range breakdown actually. Not only if you actually look at this consolidation right into the lows, everything was just beautiful. It lined up perfectly. Sadly, I didn't actually get to take the breakdown. I had to kind of chase the trade, but I was okay with chasing it because of how good the setup was. So the setup just looked that good. I was more than okay with it going back here, in which case I'll take the stop. But clearly such a good setup. I'm okay with chasing it a little bit and also pushing it a little bit further down to get more size on board and then taking that profit to the downside. Was there an opportunity to flip long somewhere here? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't really see anything that stood out for me to flip long, but something stood out for me to take profits and walk away from the trade. Potentially it was the market bottoming out or something. I don't know what made me completely close the trade. I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, closed the trade completely, and right about the same time where the stock bottomed out. I think this was actually the market bottoming out that makes me close the trade. CrowdStrike high day breakout long, very simple, nothing really to it. I really like seeing these consolidations right into high day or right into lower day or right into a previous support. Like if this support over here at VWAP, if this consolidation was a little bit lower around this lows, then I would love to take that breakdown. So that consolidation shows me that there might be, you know, still sellers in this area, in which case there might be stops over here that will trigger on a good breakout to the north side. That's what I want to take advantage of. The buyers are in control, and if there's still a seller here and their stops are still in this area, I want to take advantage of them and take a good little you know, punch to the north side. So take the long, quick little scalp. I tried to get back in over here. This one was probably avoidable, but I made the smart call of taking very little size on this one. So when I did lose, it was barely any money compared to how much money I actually made on the first trade. So that was like a very smart call by me over there on that one. And I think last but not least, the GM trade. GM actually did nothing off the open. Very, very boring. No volume at all. Back and forth in its bullshit ass opening range. But, you know, you got Trump tariffs. Anytime Trump talks about tariffs, especially about cars, especially about Canada, steel, cars, you know, metals, GM and Ford are going to take a tumble off of that. So I instantly pulled up Ford as one of my floor members called out the news on the tariffs. Pulled up Ford and I saw GM, actually pulled up GM and I noticed that GM actually broke below its opening range. This was the one I wasn't willing to chase. So when it actually started to go lower, I said, no thanks, fuck that. I'm not chasing this one because, you know, this is going to be so volatile. Instantly, you could have Trump coming out with another one saying, oh, okay, we're going to back out for 30 days and we're not going to actually follow through with it. So I don't want to, you know, deal with that kind of nonsense. I'll wait for a pop. Thankfully, we did get a pop, and right on the pop, you can still see good sellers in here, starting with a little starter position on that pop, and then on the little crackdown once again off the opening range low, adding harder. I should have really added on that little low over there. That was a little hesitation. I don't know why I hesitated. That should have been a punch, and a big punch right there. Boom, pyramided, hard short, and then you get a nice move to the south side, preemptively taking some profits at 1R. If you kind of take the opening range, I think that was 1R. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm just randomly just taking profits into 47. I can't remember. No reason to really take profits until down here because the 2-minute bar highs break at this area. So once the 2-minute high breaks, maybe that's where I actually take some profits and all my profits. But I'm always okay with taking profits on the way down just to lock it in and protecting myself from a big whip. This is also a big move for a stock like GM. I think GM's ATR is like what, $1.50 at best. You're basically getting, you know, a whole ATR move right there. For you to not take profits and be greedy would be insane. However, one thing that I am pissed about is not taking the long. It had a little capitulatory long. You know, you got the range expansion, you got the volume expansion, you have the tariff news. You know, Trump tariffs are very back and forth, meaning he's talking about tariffs one second, the next second he's not. So not that he's not, but the next second he's pulling out and he's postponing them. So these stocks could reverse very quickly the same way they came down. So always be ready to take advantage of that. I think you know, Lance would have actually taken this flip. I've also seen Lance talk about how he doesn't take the flip on news-based moves. So is this a news-based move where he doesn't take the flip, or where he does take the flip? It's kind of a question over there. So that made me you know, battle in my head, and I didn't take the long. If you didn't want to take that long, you still had a bunch of other opportunities to get long. Bunch of dips and higher lows, keeps getting respected on the bottom, and the stock eventually bottoms out exactly where I got out, and you know, moves right back to the upside. So good long over there if you were looking for a good short into a long for both directions, if you were watching for it. So that right there, my trades on the day. Feel pretty good about my day today, even though the PNL doesn't really speak for itself. You know, it's all about the bobblehead moving higher. It's all about you doing the right things and making the right habits, which obviously is kind of too late in my career to be doing that. I'm now 4 years down, so being 4 years deep and actually just now starting to build the right habits and all that is right, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Better late than sorry. Is that how the saying goes? All right. LK905, what's up, LK? I liked the GM trade, thank you, sir. Where are you trading now? It's the same prop firm, but it's with a different owner. Let's talk about some of my trades for tomorrow that I want to prepare for. If you guys have any stocks that you want to talk about, TH complaining about capitulation. A capitulation could take weeks. Capitulation can't be forecasted. Well, guess what? I am going to do it because I am Pratstradamus, baby. Nah, I'm joking. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying if it's happening, I am going to take advantage of it. It's one of the scenarios that I am preparing myself for. I'm not predicting it, right? I'm not predicting it at all. I'm just preparing for it. And damn right, sir, we have 24 hours before the capitulation index comes out. So can't wait for it. Get some good sleep today. Maybe I don't even talk about my watch list for tomorrow, because really the watch list is irrelevant, right? The watch list is really irrelevant. It's what happens at 8:30 tomorrow that really matters. Is it going to be hotter? Is it dovish? Is it hawkish? You know, how is the market going to react to this? Is there anything else tomorrow besides CPI? You get the OPEC report at 7 o'clock. Let me just bring in on the big screen over here so you guys can see it too. So you get the OPEC report at 7 o'clock. You get the core CPI at 8:30. Crude oil at 9:30. What? Okay. 10-year auction note at 1 o'clock. That's kind of important. That, you know, that usually moves the market. And with this environment that we have, you can see some volatile fluctuations of any of these numbers coming out. So that's CPI tomorrow. Is there anything on Thursday? Thursday, you got PPI, core PPI, Michigan numbers on Friday, and then some commodity numbers over here afterwards on Friday also, which is regular schedule. But 9:30, isn't that usually at like 10:30? Or is that because time went back an hour? They're now doing it at 9:30. I'm not sure what's going on over there. But anyways, you need to shake the magic 8 ball. I don't have one anymore, my friend. I don't work with that company anymore. I don't work with that company anymore, my friend. You're implying it. No, dummy. I said I'm preparing for a scenario where that could happen, and if it does, I'm going to take advantage of it. There's many other scenarios. Am I predicting it? No. I'm preparing myself for it. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta prepare yourself for all scenarios tomorrow, right? Go through your charts. the charts are all basically the same for tomorrow, right? You got your large cap stocks, your Nvidias, your Googles. My goodness, I need to get rid of so many lines over here. That one can go. You can come here. I'm okay with those. So, you know, I might need to get rid of some of these Tesla lines over here too. Not really. I'm okay. I'm okay with the line. Wait, which one is that one? Where does that line come from? Kind of popped into that and then rejected. Is that failure to follow through? Because yesterday's support area popped up into that area and rejected. That's basically failure to follow through, right? Yesterday's support a little bit, which got cracked, turned into resistance. I'll be back. My niece is here. Give me a second. Past her bedtime? No, almost. She goes to bed around 9:30 or so. I think usually around 9 p.m. It's 8:30 p.m. right now, so soon. That's why I wanted to go say goodnight to her and say hello to her first, and then you know, yeah, put her say I love you, see you tomorrow, and all that fun stuff. So quickly say hello to her. All the things you guys make me miss out, all the family time that I miss out because of you guys. Okay, so you know, the idea is the same. You're just gonna go through all the large cap names, all the levels that you have, I'll have. All the levels you don't have, I won't have. So it's the same thing. There's nothing really to talk about on the watch list, and any levels that you even have might not even come into play tomorrow, because if the market does move, there is a scenario where the CPI doesn't do anything to the market. The market just kind of hangs out exactly where it is. CPI doesn't do shit. It's a nothing burger event, and at that point, you know, some of the levels you already have, they kind of help you out a little bit more, such as this Apple 219, 220, and also today's low, which is what, 218, 217.45. So you have this little zone from 217.45 to 219. You can also throw in that little even dollar 220 to see how Apple behaves around this area. If CPI comes out good and market is launching to the upside, you have a no-brainer long around this area. Apple most likely gets bottomed out for a little bit and then pushes back up. Maybe the next day after that, CPI comes, you know, you get the reverse CPI day, which we've seen pretty often, which if that happens, then possibly you get a short from there back into 220, back into 219. So you might want to just map out some of these levels, some of these zones, where the 200-day moving averages are on these names. Google, Microsoft. I might have to get rid of some of my trend lines, so that one needs to go. But Google, Microsoft, you know, all these stocks have been at a good discount now because of the market. AI names getting a little bit of a breather. Palantir struggling at 80. You know, if you are watching these names on a day-to-day basis, you kind of already know what levels you're waiting for, what levels you're watching for on these names. So Google 80, Baba 145 to the upside looks pretty pretty strong at the moment. Chinese sector holding up pretty well. So if BABA pushes back to, are we already at 145 in the pre-market? Holy, no, I don't think we are. But if BABA does pushes back into that 145 area, that's something you don't want to miss out. Maybe you want to throw alerts in these zones. You know what? Why don't I do that right now? Let's go throw up some alerts on some of these areas where, you know, I want to be interested. So Tesla will obviously be a high watch, Nvidia will be a high watch for me anyways, but I will throw an alert in this pocket, I guess, over here. And I'll be watching Nvidia anyways. I don't need to use an alert. Apple, Amazon 200 area is very important. We're already below it at the moment, well below it. But this zone is very important tomorrow, right? CPI could take Amazon below 190. CPI could take Amazon above 200. So you're going to have to wait and see if you're gonna play with Amazon above 200 or Amazon below 190. There's a great chance that, you know, you just get this and a nothing burger off CPI, in which case, hey, you don't have to trade, right? No one's forcing you to do anything. The market's not making you push buttons. They don't have a gun to your head and they're saying, hey, push buttons right now, make a decision. No one's telling you to do that. So you know, you get to make your own calls, you get to make your own bets. And 41.50 is today's high, huh? Okay, that one was 41, this one's 41. That's actually also earnings anchored VWAP on SMCI. So SMCI making a pop back up over here into earnings VWAP. A 10% pop, I think, is what I saw. Yeah, 10% pop, not bad, but we've seen the stock struggle around 40 before, so we'll continue to see if that struggle ends up showing up on this name. Some of the earnings names over here, wow, look at the levels that I have on that one. Some of the earnings names that are potentially on watch. Well, only one earnings names from this week that is on watch for me, and nothing tonight that we have to talk about because I don't see any of these names as worthy for me to keep an eye on, especially in the market environment with CPI tomorrow. Did I say it's CPI tomorrow? Yeah, so it's CPI tomorrow. You know, you have like Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Google, Amazon. These are the stocks to party with at the moment. Small cap names are kind of dying down in pre-market volatility. There used to be so many, they're not as many at the moment. So the large cap names are what I'm focused on. Asana did drop down to its all-time low area almost, but had a good pop today. But I think this pop will not sustain itself, potentially something to keep an eye out for on the short side on pops. So just basically watching stocks that you already have on your watch list. I don't think, oh, it actually popped into 1350, no way. I was gonna say if it pops into like this area, I'll actually look for a short, but I didn't think it would, so I stopped looking for it. But it actually did. That's surprising. Not bad, not bad. Okay, but tomorrow, yeah, today's high will be very important. Do we actually get above 1350 on ASAN? If we don't, then, you know, it's just a no-brainer short tomorrow. Besides Asana and Oracle, I don't see anything else that I care about on the earnings basket of this week. Let's go back to Oracle real quick. ORCL, if I remember correctly, their report wasn't that bad. Let me put that over here because that just kind of looks better. So let's put that there. That's the earnings day high. That's basically 146, and if the stock can get above 146, then I guess we got something to keep an eye on Oracle for like a failed breakdown over here on the earnings move. But if 146 continues to be a resistance, then you know, it's a no-brainer short. CPI might change that up a little bit, so you want to be careful. BABA 145, I kind of talked about that. I already have an alert set up over there. JD, some of the big names that I follow on Twitter, like Valkyrie, Investor Underground guys, they talked about JD and BABA a little bit, but JD for me is just not as juicy because this looks like a it is steady, don't get me wrong, but this looks like a failed breakout from the earnings report, right? So I'm not really too sure if I want to be watching for this name for a day trade, unless the whole sector, the whole market is kind of running with it. That's the Chinese market, the one I'm talking about. But the overall BABA has been giving you some insane opportunities daily, so continue watching that one. OKLO seems to be bottoming out in this area at the moment, catching some traction with some of the AI names, which are also looking to bounce. So OKLO potentially back on the track for us to keep an eye on for this name. American Airlines, I can't remember what the catalyst was for AAL. Earnings turbulence, I think they guided lower, something similar to DAL. Was this earnings guidance? If you guys remember, please help me out. I remember, I think it was something along those lines, right? CEO stated that he's seen some weakness in March and the company lowered its Q1. Basically same to DAL, UAL. LUV was the only one that actually gapped up higher. So AAL, big volume spike, pushing back into previous levels. I guess you can honestly get rid of this level. That was before the breakout happened. So now honestly get rid of every drawing I have. So making a move back to the south side. AAL can't catch a break. Anytime it pops up, it gets stuffed back down. DAL in that basket too at the moment. This is Delta Airlines. You might want to look at these names tomorrow, look at to see how today's VWAP reacts. If the stock pops into today's VWAP and rejects, that's something to for sure keep an eye on for some sort of a day 2 short. But you got to keep an eye on or keep in mind where these stocks have just come from. With the whole market crashing, this stock is now down like 34%. Yeah, the earnings report was guided lower, but is it really that big of a haircut? This haircut is more like market manufactured, and the rest of the move is going to be a little speculative, right? They still make money. They are probably a low PE company, right? So PE of 876, so they still make money. Their PE is 876. It's a sector that was heavily beat down because of COVID and then absolutely bought up by investors. How much of it is owned by institutions? 82% of it is owned by institutions. So it's below its 200-day moving average, but you can see the same about QQQ. The point I'm trying to get to is it's going to be a tough name to look to short on the way down as a breakdown, right? And that's what happened over here. You don't want to be taking breakdowns on this name, especially if it's already hitting 1 ATR on the day. So you want to keep in mind these kind of things when you're looking for breakdowns on stocks that are really extended, or looking for breakouts on stocks that are really extended. You can also potentially keep an eye on what the RSI is. If the RSI is above 70 on a potential name, maybe you don't really want to take breakouts on that name on that day. If the RSI is below, I think the number's 30 or 20. I don't really use RSI, so don't quote me when I say these things. But you can also use these things to kind of help you gauge if the stock is oversold or overbought, and help you from staying away from looking for a breakout or a breakdown when you really should looking for a pullback and then a reject to short, or a pullback and a bounce to get long, and so on. So ideas for you guys in the future. Me actually saying that out loud kind of helps myself to stay away from some of these bad trades like DAL today. I should have known not to do that. I still did it. I actually knew not to do it in that moment. I still did it. Some of these bad habits that you should not be doing, you still do it, are what separates you from an elite trader and a mediocre trader, which is where sadly I belong in at the moment. Sadly, I am in that basket. So American Airlines, kind of the same thing as DAL. This was just at 19 bucks. The PE is probably at 8 bucks, 10 bucks. Yeah, so 8, 10 PE. It's not really institutional ownership. 68, a little bit more than a little bit less than DAL. But overall, same idea, but I like this one more because of this little consolidation around the 200-day moving average and then the breakdown. If you go to DAL, you have the same consolidation, but then you have a little bit of a more pronounced breakdown over here, 13-14% pronounced breakdown. This one's only like, what, I guess it's the same, never mind. I just like this one more just off the chart pattern. Don't ask me how to quantify it. If it pops into today's VWAP and rejects, that's basically somewhere around Monday's low. So 12 bucks is going to be the line in the sand for me if I want to short this name or not. So if it stays below 12, I might be inclined to look for a good day 2 short back into today's low, or an even bigger move past today's low if the market's really that weak. I want to see if the VWAP today ends at 12. Where's session VWAP? Session VWAP ends at 1185. Good enough for me. I'm gonna say 12. Good enough. LUV, so actually popped higher but then got sold off. I'm going to say that the rest of the sector actually brought the stock to the downside. The Jets ETF potentially getting dragged down because of AAL, DAL, and the other stocks, maybe UAL, all of them got hit because of that news. But LUV had a good news, but you know, obviously pushed back into this range over here after that good news. Still ended up like 8% or something. But yeah, the question is, what does it do tomorrow? Does it get back above 31? Does it get back above 32? There's like a bunch of levels that it has to fight and clear. So for me, the more clear, clean chart that I want to kind of party with, I guess if you want to say, is going to be AAL, as long as it stays below 12, and if any pops into 12, I get to short by risking 10-15 cents and get an opportunity to make $1. I'm taking that, right? Okay. Let's go to MongoDB. We're almost at the last few stocks of the watch list. MongoDB making a good little pop today. You could say a relief pop, desk pop. So relief pop over here on MongoDB. The main level, I guess, is still going to be the first level, 200, the even psychological level, 200. Earnings VWAP is also around that area on the daily chart. Earnings VWAP right now is actually 199 on the daily chart. So potentially 199, 200. You see a little bit of a barrier coming into play on this name. If it does get back, get above it, get above 200, then you have another good level to keep an eye out for, right? I think this is kind of what failure to follow through. You know what? Let's stop guessing and let's do this. Duplicate tab, move to another window, and then let's put that here. Where is my notes? Let's pull up my notes. Failure to follow through. So pull back. Yeah, so basically this short here is failure to follow through, I guess, because this is the support area that turned resistance, bounce back, or this little support area. Okay, so this is the support area. You get the lower day break, the bounce back, and the reject is the failure to follow through. Kind of like the second chance scalp, basically. Very much like the second chance scalp. Okay. So if that's the case, yeah, you know, you have the long-term support, you get a bounce back, a reject of this long-term support turning into resistance. You get the good failure to follow through idea over there and get a good short opportunity. So MongoDB on watch, 200, 220, keeping an eye on both of these levels. APP, App Lovin', making a little bit of a relief rally after its destruction that it had recently. Almost back to its 200-day moving average. Volume still present in this name, but keep in mind the stock spread sucks. So you're going to have to play with that stock. You're going to have to give it a little room when you're playing with this name. So keep an eye out for it. $35 ATR with the 12 million volume with the $250 stock. So it spread's going to be like $1 at some point, $1.50 at some point. Not something that excites me. But if you play it right, it's a lot of potential to make some real good money on APP. So it's on my watch list, but I just don't know what I want to do with it. I have no clue what I want to do with it. I'm being honest with you. QQQ, S&P 500, IWM. I mean, I don't think anything I say right now matters about this three things. They are going to be irrelevant. Only thing that matters is the CPI tomorrow. So all of them below, even the Dow Jones, below the 200-day moving average. So only thing that matters is the CPI and how the market reacts to said CPI. And you know, you have your levels, you have your trend lines, your moving averages. All I can say is listen to the money. Listen to the money on the market and follow the money. Don't be the person fighting the trend and only be the person joining the trend. I'm also talking to myself. Prad, looks like Lyft is basing to go higher. That is not what it looks like at all to me, but if you believe so, more power to you, my friend. Go long, and you know, not financial advice, obviously. And don't blame me that I said to go long. If you believe that you think Lyft is basing to go long, I wish you best of luck. I don't think it is. I simply don't think it is at all. Okay, so there is your quick little screenshot of what Lyft's PE is. And I rest my case with that one. That stock has a lot lower to go. Okay, I'm basically done for the day. I don't have anything else to talk about. I also need to go eat some food, do some quick homework, such as do some journaling and find out what were the best trades of the day. I have a big list of stocks that I wrote up to be the best trades of the day. A lot of stocks actually that I wrote up that are potentially the best trades of the day. So I have a lot of homework to do. I'm gonna call it a night. Good luck for CPI tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Come back tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 o'clock with your boy TraderPrad. You know what it is. Let me see what the IPO calendar is real quick. If there's anything on the IPO calendar, oh my. Wait. That one already IPO'd. Okay, we don't have to worry about that. I already traded that one. Anything else? Nope, nothing else. Perfect. So, wish you guys the best of luck. Last but not least, go look at the links in the description below if you are trying to get a discount on any of the software that I use in this market environment. If you don't have a squawk that is you know, informing you about any of the moves that are happening on the market, because Trump talks a lot, and anytime he talks, the market moves. So Benzinga Squawk is one of the best things that can help you get ahead of these things. He's kind of telling you as these moves are happening. So if you're trying to get 10% off on that, not only do I use Benzinga with you guys on stream to talk about earnings reports, I actually use it throughout the day for the Squawk and for news and for charts, scanning, heat maps, and a bunch of other tools. So Benzinga Pro, awesome. Trader Sync to track your trading performance, get 15% off. Trade Ideas to scan your stocks, get 15% off using code PRAD15. And Flash Research for all things small cap and data and historical statistics and even back testing. If you're interested, use code, click on my link, click on this link over here to get 10% off. All my social media up here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully you guys had no problems with this new mic position. I'll catch you guys next time. It's Prad. Peace. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host Trader Prad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. It might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.